Hello, welcome back to Non-synchronous online course. You may be working somewhere, either in an academic organization or in the biotechnology industry. Directly or indirectly, you are playing an important role in the biological supply chain. Protecting biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment and knowledge is our collective responsibility. In order to protect biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment and knowledge, each organization must have an action plan. This module will walk you through the academia and industry action plan, which could help you boosting biosecurity to protect biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment and knowledge in your organization. Let's get it started. In this module, I will tie all of the essential information together from the previous 11 modules to give you an overall view which could help you develop or refine and implement your action plan to protect biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment and knowledge in your organization. I believe that in your organization you will have a biorisk management program to mitigate the biosafety and biosecurity risks. You may need to review your biorisk management system to refine it, to fill in the gaps, to make your approach effective and efficient. While doing a risk assessment, make sure that you are doing it comprehensively to address the elements of biosafety, biosecurity, and cyber biosecurity. Cross-check the robustness of your customer and due diligence procedures. Your institutional biosafety and biosecurity committee need to identify your organization's compliance risk. While doing so, you must consider your organization's all employees, research and development materials and equipment suppliers, contractors, and other stakeholders. For example, in universities and colleges, students are important stakeholders. While doing a compliance risk assessment, you also need to consider processes, technology, clients, customers, and your organization's intellectual property. Once you know the compliance risk level of your organization, by doing a robust risk assessment, you can take the necessary actions to mitigate the risks. In the process, you need to take a global view of your business activities. You need to prepare for the export control and sanctions regulations with education and training to ensure that your staff is competent enough. Ensure that you are preparing your business to deal with the risks presented by the export control and sanctions regulatory environment and the potential activities of revisionist proliferator states and their agents. Your organization must allocate resources to monitor compliance rules and sanctions. The strict monitoring of internal publications is also important. To make your system effective and efficient, you can consider using automated systems to address compliance risks. However, you need to test and audit automated systems from time to time. Considering your organization's business, you can also consider appointing an an internal compliance or export control and sanctions officer. Bear in mind that proactive actions are always necessary for better results. To minimize the biosecurity risks of your organization, know your customer and customer due diligence will serve as the foundation, because customer identification and verification is essential to avoid potential shortcomings and consequences, including sanctions. These 6 steps are extremely important as a part of the Know Your Customer and customer due diligence program, because these steps will help you identify red flags or indicators of potential risks that could result in significant or severe penalties. Hence, ensuring proper implementation of Know Your Customer and due diligence programs is important, in line with the required formalities for compliance to mitigate the risks. Remember that reporting to authorities when red flags arise in a transaction is an excellent first step to avoid an escalation of a problem. Information to be managed includes finding out who is the ultimate business owner of the entity or that company, who is the end user, and norms of interaction, including the nature of the requests, meeting preferences. Make sure that information about location of buyer, location of end use, and location of end user is managed efficiently and effectively. Your customer's transaction method and terms should be considered. As a part of it, the information about each customer's payment terms, financing terms, contract terms, and conditions should be managed properly in order to avoid the troubles in a later stage. To protect biological materials and equipment, transport security is essential. Hence, necessary information about the logistic operators and last mile considerations are also essential. Your organization's ignorance should not become a reason for the violations and penalties. Violation is a violation. It doesn't matter if it happened unknowingly or unintentionally. Therefore, managing customers' information about current or pending violations, current or pending penalties, and history of violations is important. In any organization or company, compliance is everyone's responsibility. However, for effective coordination, if necessary, your organization can appoint a compliance officer. A suitable individual from your legal department could be the best fit for the job. Bear in mind that a dedicated employee can manage the entire compliance program. Another option is that the responsibility could be handled by a working group of persons or a formal committee. The committee or the officer should manage to organize training programs to make employees competent to deal with the issues. You may think of creating a standard due diligence protocol for each step of the process. Here, I want to reiterate that our main focus is on protecting biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment, and knowledge to mitigate the biosecurity risks. From this perspective, while doing action planning, you need to consider the ways and means to make know your customer and customer due diligence program robust. The routine cycle of collect, screen, record, monitor, evaluate, and verify, and then trust is extremely useful. However, bear in mind that it is not error proof. Hence, from time to time, refinement or improvement in the system is necessary to deal with the new challenges posed by the proliferators. The proper implementation of biosecurity best practices provides several benefits to the organization. Biosecurity best practices help organizations to reduce IP theft, maintain insider threat deterrence, support security risk management, reduce counterparty risk, reduce credit risk, improve reputation, attract more capital, increase market share, improve relationship management and customer service, satisfy all the stakeholders, reduce strategic business interruptions and operational disruption. As a whole, biosecurity best practices help organizations to improve their corporate governance, become more resilient organizations, and contribute to positive nation branding. While doing action planning, objectives such as to improve compliance risk management capabilities, to enhance the Know Your Customer program, to refine customer due diligence protocols, and to make customer identification and verification more reliable should be part of your toolbox. In addition, while doing action planning for the organization, due consideration should be given to making other know your customer and customer due diligence elements more robust and reliable. For example, location verification for consistency, biological materials and equipment related transaction methods monitoring, transport security consideration to address vulnerabilities and company's history, including violations and penalties, should be considered to harvest the compliance benefits. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to summarize this module, I want to highlight 3 important points. Point number 1 is know your customer procedures, and effective due diligence is the foundation to mitigate the risks associated with biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment, and knowledge. Point number 2 is all organizations that are in handling biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment, and knowledge should implement the Biorisk management program appropriately. And last but not least, point number 3 is, as biological researchers and stakeholders of the biological supply chains, we need to do our part to boost biosecurity by following biosecurity best practices to protect ourselves, our organization, community, and country. Remember, it is essential for global biosecurity. In this non-synchronous online course, I have presented 12 modules for you, introducing fundamentals on protecting biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment and knowledge. I hope that you have enjoyed watching them as much as I have enjoyed producing them. I also hope that what you have learned through this online course will help you to enhance biosecurity best practices in your organization to protect biosecurity sensitive biological materials, equipment and knowledge. Thanks for watching and completing this non-synchronous online course. It has been my privilege to be your course instructor on this exciting journey.